Hello everybody, I am back with another video, finally bringing you guys my top 5 games of 2012. Now I want to preface this video by saying that there are a number of games that I just didn't get to play this year. Many of which are probably your top 5 games, top 10 games, just top games that you played throughout the year. I didn't get a chance to play them because 9 to 10 months out of the year, I was in college, I had very minimal amount of money, disposable income to be spending on games, so I had to be very picky about the games that I actually purchased and played. So just know going in that many of the games that you played, I probably am not going to be talking about. But I really think that makes these videos really unique because I don't want to watch a bunch of top videos and just hear about the same 5 games, same 10 games. Because, I was listening to the Giant Bombcast and, the Game Informers and the IGNs and all that, and I was really tired of just hearing about Black Ops 2, Assassin's Creed 3, XCOM, Dishonored, and all these games that were just mentioned and just talked about to death. None of those games are actually in my top list, so just know that going in. But there are several games that I still would like to play, some of those AAA titles, that hopefully I'll get a chance to play, in the coming year. But just know going in that your games may not be on this list. But I think that makes these videos really unique and kind of personal, and I hope you guys get something out of this video, and I really do hope you guys go out and play some of these games if you haven't already. So let's go ahead and get started, you guys. Coming in at number 5 is a game I actually have not even finished yet, but I put about 15 hours in, and I could not make this video without mentioning it and including it as my number 5 game for 2012, and that is Tales of the Abyss 3D for the Nintendo 3DS. Now, I have never played a Tales game. This is my first entry into the series, and I can honestly say I'm really impressed. I really love kind of the action RPG style battle system when you actually get to when you encounter an enemy, it goes into this separate little circular arena, and you have the ability to kind of free roam that area, attacking your enemies in real time, which I really do like. It kind of brings a Kingdom Hearts-like feel to the game. But I want to let you guys know that if you have not played this game and you do end up buying it, know going in that the story takes a while to develop. The main protagonist, Luke, is an absolute jerk in the beginning of the game. But I can honestly say that at about the 10-hour point, there's a really interesting plot twist in the game, and Luke really kind of begins to change. His personality really kind of develops at that point in the game, based on his interactions with the other characters, the enemies he's encountered, and really just kind of his experience as a whole. He really begins to develop as a character. And as my buddy Mike, Aerodynamics, recently mentioned on Twitter, he really is one of the most well-developed characters in JRPG history, from the games that I've played and experienced at least. And I really cannot wait to see how the rest of this game unfolds. Really a lot of interesting characters, excellent graphics. I don't play with the 3D on, but I can honestly say that the cutscenes in this game look as if you're watching an anime on your PlayStation 3. Not like Blu-ray quality, so to speak, but still really impressive. The battle system's great, nice music, interesting characters, and as I said, it takes a while for the story to develop, but give it time. It really is a great game to have for the 3DS. And there really aren't too many JRPGs on the 3DS right now, so definitely give Tales of the Abyss 3D a look. Coming in at number 4 is the best fan service for a game I have ever seen, and that is Final Fantasy Theatrhythm. An unbelievable rhythm music game that encompasses all Final Fantasy games that you can imagine, from 1 to 13. It doesn't include games like Tactics Advance, and some of the spin-off games like that. But I can only imagine that those are going to be available via the eShop download in the near future. But this game is just excellent. You basically you can freely go through each of the 13 games soundtracks, and basically you control these little chibi characters. You have 4 playable characters in your party at one time, and they're characters from all the Final Fantasy games, 1 through 13 again. And it is just so fun to just sit down and play this game and just experience those wonderful soundtracks from all 13 games. If you're not a fan of Final Fantasy, I understand, but there is no denying that the music in these games is phenomenal. And this really is a must-play, must-buy game for the 3DS. And I'm actually, willing to go out on a limb and say it's worth purchasing a 3DS just for this game. It really is that good. It offers literally probably over 100 hours worth of gameplay experience before you're able to see all of the content and, unlock everything, complete everything. I know Steps to Death and Mike Aerodynamics, I believe they put 80 plus hours into this game. You know, just unlocking everything, trying to really just master all the different modes and everything. So really has so much to offer. Really, really great music. The graphics are great. There's actually even full animation from the games. You know, there are certain aspects within the game where you literally get to see some of the cutscenes from the Final Fantasy games, like Final Fantasy X, even Final Fantasy VII. So really, guys, do not overlook this gem of a game. It is wonderful. Like I said, excellent fan service for Final Fantasy fans. And even if you're just a fan of rhythm music games, you really cannot let this game go by. It is so, so good. So definitely check out Final Fantasy Theatrhythm for the 3DS. Now you're probably seeing a trend here, lots of handheld games. Well, like I said, I was in college, and those were really the only games that I had time to play. So the next one, coming in at number 3, is a game that I never really thought I would have liked, but I still pre-ordered it and I got it day one, and that is Adventure Time. Hey Ice King, why'd you steal our garbage? Honestly, one of the most bizarre, over-the-top games I've ever experienced. But I can honestly say, I have never laughed while playing a game so much as I did when I played Adventure Time. And I can say that I literally beat this game in one sitting. Now that's telling of two things. One, this game is incredibly short. And two, it's also really, really easy. But I don't think you can judge a game by, you know, the difficulty and, you know, the lengthiness of the game. Yeah, I think, you know, JRPGs and things like that, when they're 30 plus hours, it offers much more bang for your buck. But there is no denying this game's charm and this game's fun factor. It is so enjoyable. I really, in terms of just enjoying a game, I don't think there was a game this year that I enjoyed as much as I did as Adventure Time. And I also loved it so much that I've recently gotten the first season on DVD, and I'm enjoying the show. The plot to this game is just so bizarre, and literally when looked at subjectively, makes no sense. It is so stupid. Like, literally, the Ice King steals Finn and Jake's garbage, and it is your job to go out and get it back from him. It is so stupid, but it just is so fitting for Adventure Time, because if you've seen the show, each episode is just crazy. It's literally just obscene. I can't even believe it. I don't even know how to describe it, but it's so funny. It is just so great. But basically, Adventure Time is, as many people have described it, a Zelda 2 clone. So basically, there are 4 different areas that you get to explore, and each of which has an overall hub world where you literally get to just, from a top bird's eye view, get to see Finn and Jake traveling this world. And then there's also, you know, when you go into these dungeon-like areas, it's a side-scrolling kind of platformer, so you can get to, you know, you get to experience fighting different enemies and kind of exploring these, you know, side-scrolling environments. It's really interesting, really, really funny, excellent writing, some of the best writing in a handheld game I've ever seen, and also some of the best music that I've ever heard in a handheld game, definitely for the 3DS. It puts, you know, it even rivals Theatrhythm, I'm not even kidding. The music in this game is wonderful, and you can even listen to it. I believe they have released the soundtrack online. Not for download, but you can definitely stream it. So, Adventure Time, Hey Ice King, why'd you steal your garbage? Why'd you steal our garbage? Wonderful game. I know people in PAL regions are kind of fretting because this game was not released over there, and the 3DS is obviously region locked, but this game is also available on the Nintendo DS. So, please, guys, import this game if you have not done so already. It's definitely worth your money. Now, coming in at number 2, maybe a surprise to many of you guys. Many of you guys may have thought, right when you started this video, it would have been my number 1 game, but it is actually coming in at number 2, and that is Kingdom Hearts 3D Dream Drop Distance. An excellent addition to the Kingdom Hearts series, and it is actually a wonderful entry point to the series if you've never played a Kingdom Hearts game, because as you progress through the game, it unlocks text-based synopses of the previous games in the series. So it'll let you know kind of the history of each of the games, how they tie together, because these games are incredibly hard to follow. The stories are very convoluted, so it's hard to follow what's going on, character interactions, why these people are, you know, here and everything. It's difficult to understand. I don't really have a full grasp on the story, but I really do love the games and how it kind of ties together Final Fantasy and Disney. I think it's just an excellent concept that Square Enix has done. But this is a really great game, and also, let's just say that the ending credits really set things up for Kingdom Hearts 3. That's all I'm going to say. But I thought this game actually introduced some really interesting concepts. You know, the introduction of the monster kind of gathering. I thought, like the Dream Eaters, I thought it was interesting. I thought it was a unique concept, but I can honestly say that I don't want that in Kingdom Hearts 3. I don't want that in a console-based Kingdom Hearts. I thought it was a nice little stray away from, Donald and Goofy, but I want Donald and Goofy back for Kingdom Hearts 3. I mean, they are the two companions that I remember playing with, when I first experienced Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2, and I want them back for Kingdom Hearts 3. But I thought it was really cool to kind of, play with all these different Dream Eaters, figure out which ones you wanted in your party. You get to name them, you get to kind of, essentially, like, play with them. I mean, it's like Nintendogs almost. You can kind of, like, pet them and throw them, little toys and everything. It's a unique concept, but definitely not something that I want to become routine for Kingdom Hearts games in the future. But I thought the worlds in this game, while a little bit limited, there weren't a whole lot of different worlds to explore. There's no denying that they picked some really great ones, with the Fantasia world especially being my favorite. The music in that world is probably the single best music out of any of the Disney worlds from any of the Kingdom Hearts games. It really was incredibly impressive. And actually, I played this game with the 3D turned up just a bit because I actually thought it was a really nice complement to the game that was already great. And I don't play the 3D on with any of my 3DS games, with the exception being this and Dead or Alive Dimensions. So that's really telling that they actually did a really nice job implementing the 3D and also just kind of, introducing some new unique concepts to the Kingdom Hearts series. So if you have not played this game already, guys, it's a must-buy. This is definitely worth buying a 3DS for. Just a wonderful experience. So definitely check out Kingdom Hearts Dream Drop Distance for the Nintendo 3DS. So what is my #1 game of the year? Well, it's not a handheld game. It is actually for the PlayStation 3. And that came out really early in the year, so maybe you missed it. Final Fantasy 13-2. Another game that I actually have not completed yet, but I can say that I'm at the final boss, and I thoroughly enjoyed this game. A wonderful sequel to the already great Final Fantasy 13. I know many people are just pulling their hair out because this game is getting a third game in the series, and so many people already hated Final Fantasy 13 they didn't even bother with 13-2. But I can honestly say I cannot wait for 13-3 Lightning Returns, or whatever the subtitle is, because this game was so great, and any gripes that I had with Final Fantasy 13, it far surpassed all those, minor grievances I had with the game. Definitely resolved those. One being the paradigm, when you're shifting between the different paradigms, there were a 3 to 5 second lag between paradigm shifts in the first game. Well, that's completely resolved in this game. Shifting between paradigms is instantaneous, so you don't have to worry about, getting hurt by a boss or hurt by an enemy that really kills you in like one hit, because it's instantaneous, so you don't have to worry about that. Additionally, I think Caius, the main villain in this game, is one of the most memorable and, in an odd way, likable villain in recent history. I think, he almost rivals Sephiroth as a villain from Final Fantasy VII and Crisis Core. He's really just that interesting, and it's really cool to see how the game progresses, his interactions with Sarah and Noel. So, really just an excellent game, and also, a main complaint with Final Fantasy 13 was how linear it was. It didn't really bother me, because the game really didn't even open up until about the 30-hour mark. Well, I can honestly say that in the very beginning of this game, you have much more freedom to roam around, in addition to a ton of side quests in this game. There are these things called fragments that you can actually collect throughout the game. There's tons of fragments to collect. And basically it offers many side quests that you can go out and do. And you can honestly probably put 30 to 40 hours just collecting these different fragments, throughout the game without really progressing far into the main story, because there's this Historia crux where you literally get to just travel in all these different areas of times. I know it makes the story more convoluted than it needs to be, but it offers much more freedom to kind of roam around as people have wanted, and it offers many side quests that are actually really interesting. It also has a really kind of unique soundtrack. Some of the soundtracks aren't so great. It's kind of like some heavy metal stuff. A lot of people kind of compare it to 10-2, which I haven't played, but, I enjoy it. I really do. I love the characters. I know Sarah and Noel are not, the characters many people wanted to see in this sequel as the main protagonists, but I think it works well. And like I said, Caius, the main villain, is excellent. Really nice music, and I really like Mog, your little companion. I believe that little creature is seriously one of the most adorable creatures in video game history. So really, really an interesting game. Great stuff here, and I cannot wait for 13.3. And that is why it makes my #1 game of 2012. Now, those are my top 5 games, but as this is really unique and a very personal list here, I want to know your guys' top 5, top 10, just list of games that you guys have played throughout this year. So definitely video responses are always encouraged. Please let me know, guys, what your top 5 games, top 10, whatever it may be games, or that you played this year. And please, guys, just don't flood my comment box with hate, because I didn't play all those games that maybe you experienced. Just maybe recommend me some of those games that you experienced that you think I should play throughout this coming year. I want to thank you guys for watching this video, and stay tuned, because I am also going to upload soon my most anticipated games of 2013. So be sure to leave a comment or video response, guys, letting me know some of your favorite games. Thanks for watching.